Greetings, everybody. Sunny Puzikas here with Let Us Attend episode 33, coming live to you from Woods of East Texas, Fort Honey Badger. Hope everyone is doing well. Leah's Bronze is still on the podium. That's right. Sam, Jake, Rich. How are you all doing? Tom Hollaby. William. All right, all right. Well, how is the audio coming through? For all of you watching, let me know. Josh says loud and clear. That is not a bad thing. Alrighty then, well, today it's going to be somewhat of a hybrid thing that I'm going to do here. We're going to talk a little bit about events. We're going to talk a little bit about training. And I may even do a short kind of sarcastic thing about the book. Once we get to it, you'll understand why the sarcasm. All right, so first of all, let's do a quick shout out to our sponsors, Ammo Supply Warehouse, for the purveyors of fine freedom seats. AmmoSupplyWarehouse.com. That's where you get the good stuff and good service, good people, good service, good prices. Support them. They are small business and they rely on our support. I've known Butch for many, many, many years. He's taken many, many, many classes here and other places. He's not just a salesman, he's a lot more than that. AmmoSupplyWarehouse.com. Next on our sponsors list, Iron Pig Armament. Turtle is outstanding dude. Unfortunately, due to some family commitments, health issues with his loved ones, Turtle was not able to come and join us here for the March Madness. He was registered for the Fear Inoculum 2026. He had to miss it, but my brother, you have a spot for the next one. As the name implies, the third word in it, armament, you can probably guess what they do. Good stuff. Good stuff. I have few of Turtle's products in my possession and cannot say enough good about it. Quality, service, customer care, and on and on. It's outstanding. Last but not least is Fort Honey Badger body spray side gig from my dear wife, Megan. You can go to my website, sunnypuzikas.com, scroll through on the web store, and you'll find what you're looking for. Natural, organic, smells good. I do use it. I'm not saying I smell good all the time, but when I use it, I do. With that being said, let us move on and get to today's topics. So, some of you may have noticed lately over time here, I haven't posted much to social media. I have not participated much and, offered my 2 cents on the what's going on in the world with the wars, with the changes, with the lies, with the bullshit, with the witch hunts. And to tell you the truth, guys, it feels good. It was good to kind of stay back. It is a great Lent for us in Orthodoxy. So, for one, I'm not as tempted as I would be to use very harsh language and inappropriate words, which today probably few of them will come out, but bear with me. I'll try to be good as much as I can. On the bigger picture, it's interesting. It was kind of like my little personal experiment to stay away from commenting much or writing any posts. When on the February 28th, the just another war suddenly we got involved with because for the 50th time, Iran was relatively close, like weeks away from developing a nuclear weapon. I thought we take, took care of that a while ago and numerous times, and Israel took care of it years ago. And I don't know, those Persians, man, those Iranians are weird. They just come back quickly, apparently. Right. Um, I didn't say much about that. Lately in the last couple of weeks, didn't have much time to look at social media. Here and there after training, before falling asleep, I would glance through some things. One thing that I noticed very, very clearly is for sure, not a grassroots, but very well orchestrated campaign. And that campaign is, again, is going to sound like, for some of y'all, may sound like, some kind of anti Semitic sentiment. But between our politicians, influencers, reverends, and many, many other public faces and public figures, it's kind of this well coordinated action being taken. And for one, yeah, it's very much tear jerking when when they say, that explosions in Tel Aviv or Haifa or other cities in Israel, uh, and civilians got hurt or, God forbid, they got killed. And, evil Iranian regime is attacking us. And I don't know. I mean, did Iran fire the first shot? Uh, am I missing something here? Is this kind of like, are we expecting that mullahs gonna live by that misinterpretation of turn the other cheek? We drop metric shit tons of stuff on them together with our partners from Israel, right? Uh, and then we expect what? Like, I would like to hear a rational explanation of going like why they should not respond. I know some people will jump into it and go like, well, they bombing civilians. Hmm, interesting. And we not. Our esteemed president said that Iranians themselves bombed that school in Iran, right, where 170 people got killed. Then some information came out that it was supposedly outdated intelligence, that it was still mapped as is adjacent to some military or Revolutionary Guard installation or whatnot. But that's just shit happens, right? But something explodes in Tel Aviv. Oh my goodness, what are we gonna do about this terrible regime of Ayatollahs? Here's the other funny thing: people go like, "Oh, so you're defending Iran? You are on Iranian Ayatollah's side." If someone is that dumb, if someone is that of a low IQ, I'm really not going to spend my time explaining. No, I am not on the side of Ayatollahs. By any means, I have very little sympathy for those people, very little love. On the other hand, I believe in many years of our esteemed history, I mean, United States. We were directly involved in, I think, 78 or 82 attempts or successful overthrows of governments around the world. Let that sink in. 78 or 82, not that big of a difference. Government overthrows or attempts to do so. Hmm. it's interesting number to look at. I'm also seeing a lot of people going like, well, no, we did not go into a new war. Iranians allegedly have killed in the past 47 years over 1,000 Americans. Uh, Marine barracks in Beirut, you know, the embassy in Buenos Aires, that was not American, that was Israeli embassy. Many other attacks by Hezbollah, by many other, you know, allegedly Iranian sponsored organizations or movements or terrorist organizations or whatever you want to call them. Somehow, very suspiciously, few things are missing. So Iranians, these evil ayatollahs, when they came to power, they decided, you know what, fuck it, let's start murdering Americans. And now they racked up about 1,000 of dead Americans. Okay, all right. Anyone remembers Iran-Iraq war? Anyone has memory of that? Anyone remembers the death toll in that war? From either side, but let's say Iranian death toll in that war. Saddam Hussein was a ruler of Iraq at that point. It was one of the largest cases of mass usage of chemical weapons. Guess who provided Saddam Hussein with those chemical weapons? Take a wild ass guess. Yeah, it was US of A. Remember Jumbo Jet, Iranian Airlines Jumbo Jet, civilian flying to Iran over the Persian Gulf that was shot down by guess which navy? Hmm. Yeah. Um, a lot of people like to show pictures. Iran before Ayatollahs, bunch of beautiful Persian girls walking around in the short skirts, and life is happy under Shah. Uh, you haven't heard any other things about it? About political prisoners? About thousands in prisons being tortured and murdered? No, you haven't? Do some digging. Do some digging how democratic the Shah was before Ayatollahs came to power. So when we start crying out that, big mass demonstrations in Tehran has a bunch of Shia, you know, fanatics screaming death to America, death to Israel, like logical question to me, if someone is screaming death to Sonny Puzikas, I would want to ask a question, why you want me dead? And they go like, well, Mr. Puzikas, you provided, a little bit of OC spray to people that torture my family for a few years. You shot down the little Cessna with my family in it. And yeah, I want you dead, Mr. Puzikas. Hmm. But I guess for most Americans, we'd rather not go there because it's disturbing. Why go there? Like Christian Green says, Shah is the same shit as Ayatollah, but Shah was pro-American, and that just makes it right. So if someone is killing people, but he's killing it while wearing, I don't know, Freedom T-shirt or a USA T-shirt or something, that's good. We're okay with that, right? But if it's different, I don't know, if it's some kind of Islamic writing or whatnot, then it's absolute fucking evil. Let's bomb it. Let's kill a few more thousand people. Let's destroy the economy and let's see what happens. What's funny to me is this: people making snarky comments all over the internet. You know, fuck them. I remember over the years, let's make a little glass parking lot in the Middle East. Let's do this, let's do that. My question to dudes that make those comments. Now, whether you support President Trump or whatnot, that's separate. We'll get to that. You're not gonna answer that question. I know that. Too much of a pussy. But I would like for you to stand in front of a couple Iranian dudes, fathers, that lost their girls in that school, and express your little snarky opinions and things of that nature. I would love that. I would love how much of that is your little fucking bitch ass cosplay. Lord have mercy for me saying that. And how much of that is you really feel that way. You don't give a shit. Yeah, Christian Green, we let. You didn't do shit, brother. You didn't do shit. We let. This is like someone who watches the football game and they go like, we won. When Philadelphia Eagles beat somebody, we won. No, it's people that we tend to elect because they make nice promises to us. By the way, I'm very, very proud as an American now to pay about $1 extra per gallon towards the great cause of Greater Israel. I'm like, cool, man. Let's continue with that shit for another 10 years. I'm good. I'm good, man. It's for a good cause. It's for greater good, right? Because Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. Right. Sure. Take a look what that democracy did during the COVID. Yeah. Many other things. How free their press is. Anyway, here's little thing about the whole thing with Iran. Yeah, gas prices, whatever. It can happen with so many different fluctuations in economies, in geopolitics, in tensions, wars, whatever the fuck happens out there due to the decisions that decision makers make. But the way it looks to me, and by the way, if you able to access some of the news and some of the things that you can hear from not controlled media leak or drip of information that we get here in the West, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at the amount of damage done. It's interesting when we see our own, the head of FCC, openly say that broadcasters, TV stations, news channels, they have responsibility to American public. And that responsibility is basically, the same people that talk about press being under or media being under government control or restrictions, let's say in Russia or Korea or somewhere else, right? What's going on in our country? What's going on with our allies? In United Arab Emirates, the social media influencers were directly informed that if they post any video of Iranian drones or rockets, whatever, exploding Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or anywhere else in United Arab Emirates, they face up to 2 years in prison and 40,000 euros, I believe, fine. It's our allies. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But we want to talk about a repressive regime here and there, right? Mm. Yeah, legit, man. Legit. We standing on the solid ground of morality, of teaching people democracy, and telling others how to live. Very solid ground. It would be funny if it wasn't sad, and here's why it could turn very, very sad. I intentionally, so far, for the most part, left out the great state of Israel out of my rant here. But don't be very surprised that one of few things or the combination of things that I'm going to mention will occur. One, the prelude actually is already out there. I saw something on social media that a fragment of Iranian rocket or something basically fell on the grounds of the most holy site in Jerusalem. Um, I'm sure it's legit. I'm sure it's going to be, if it happens, if it materializes, it's going to be legitimately proven and all that with fragments of Iranian rockets because Israel doesn't have any of them. Uh, if that site gets destroyed to build the third temple over it. Another little moment. Rumors out there are swirling that the Iron Dome is not working very well. I mean, they shoot down quite a bit, but it's not providing dome like protection that most people imagined. And based on a severely limited amount of videos that we see here in the West, again, in other countries, you would see a little bit different amount of it. But, that would take effort to go and look at those things. I would not be surprised that Israel, which possesses nuclear weapon, without any accountability to any international bodies, without being part of any agreements about non-proliferation or on and on and on when it comes to nuclear weapons, that Israel will use a nuclear weapon. Where do we stand then? Again, a lot of MAGA people and flaggers waving flags that go like, who cares? Who's going to do what? China, Russia? They're going to get involved in a nuclear war? I don't know. Do you? What if Pakistan does something? Where do we stand then? What's next? How long you going to be waving your flag, even if it's for the lowest reason of going like, shit, my gas is $15 per gallon? How long you going to have patience and ability to sustain standard of life? Don Stinson, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be full Samson option or one off or whatnot. I doubt they would go full Samson option from the get go, but I wouldn't exclude the possibility that it can be some kind of a limited strike, 1, 2, 5 targets somewhere in Iran. I wouldn't be surprised at this point with that country, the modern state of Israel, our closest ally. Nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me. I'll go conspiratorial. It wouldn't surprise me that a small tactical nuke outskirts of Jerusalem as a little, just a little red flag. Somewhere on the settlements in the West Bank, maybe close to the border with Lebanon. That way you have both Lebanon, Hezbollah, and Iran to blame. And then you go all out. Maybe even involve US of A adding a couple little bombs here and there. I'm going to go like, Russians, Chinese will not risk over that. Right? What's the big deal? There are politicians here in this country. And when I say politicians, I'm talking members of Congress or Senate. That are right now talking about that West or we, US, should give Ukraine a nuclear weapon. What do you think is going to happen? What the fuck you think is going to happen? Rodney, I don't know if they will go for Article 5 because I think there's, looking geopolitically, when you look at the things with Europe being overstretched and unable to handle with what they committed themselves in Ukraine, what they committed themselves to do with Ukraine, it's not working well for them. You know, for them to get drawn into Article 5 versus Iran because they would pull off some kind of red flag and blame it on Iran. Although I thought that Iran doesn't have nuclear capabilities, but apparently even under all this, they maybe can still make it, right? So I don't know. Looks like I disappeared here for a minute. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me? All right, guys, let me know in the comments if I'm back because it showed here that for a moment the connection was lost. All right. So I don't know, man. It's it's not pleasant to watch. When Trump was running in 24, I was mildly excited. I'm not saying I had some huge expectations, but I was looking at it. I'm like, well, definitely beats the alternative. Looking at it now, I'm questioning. I'm questioning that assessment, and I'm not like ashamed or scared to say, or I'm gonna stick to my guns. No, I mean, I I don't have allegiance to a man. I don't have any allegiance to any man. My allegiance is to my creator. My second allegiance is my family. And yes, there is country. But man does not represent country. Any man. Okay? It's a position. It's a job. So I'm not going to stand there and go like, well, if you criticize president or this administration or this political party or whatnot, you're not being, a patriot. Bullshit. Bullshit. That's a very cheap cop out. I'm not going to do that. And if it takes, if the cost of that is some people disliking me or losing friendships over it or whatnot, it's fine. It's okay. I'm not gonna cry about it. Obviously, we weren't that close of a friends if political or geopolitical disagreement uh, puts us at odds where we want another person to die or to rot alive or something. But I'm questioning things. I'm watching things that are being said. I'm watching things that are being done. And I'm seriously questioning things if in 2024 and prior, when he announced that he's going to run, if he has lied to us about a lot. No, I'm not necessarily going to dig into reasons why it happened. I'm not going to say I don't have any facts that because, he's being blackmailed by Israeli due to Epstein files and all that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not excluding the possibilities. But I don't know. So I'm not going to make statements to that degree. I know there's a lot of other information out there that Donald Trump has converted to Judaism a few years ago. I don't know. I know, as a matter of fact, watching what's that chick's name, Paula White, and a few other people of God, and what they say and how they act, I go like, I don't know. I don't know which one is worst, you know? Like, seriously, you know? You listen to some of those crazies and you see what they say and you see how they act, and it's like, holy shit, man. So, yeah, at this point, me and my wife, we were talking about it, and she's like, I'm sorry, it's the way it seems to be right now, it's two heads of absolutely the same snake. It hisses differently, the shape of its tongue different. It's the same fucking snake. Whether you go right, whether you go left. If the election outcome would have been differently, we would probably already be in World War III, or probably not even be here anymore, because due to what would have been done with the situation with Ukraine. So I guess it's a win that we went with the other option, right? We're not quite there yet, you know. But you're looking at it and you're like, no new wars. Uh, America first. Let's take care of what's important here before we try to change the world. The Venezuela, the Iran, next Cuba. And if you think it's going to stop there, if it doesn't explode to where everything ends, you are wrong. There will be more. You can call the score, go like, we overturn this government, this government, this government. And look at those and tell me what you see. How is it working out in Libya? What about Syria? Iraq? Afghanistan? Yeah, it's working out well. I mean, Ukraine, 2014, the Maidan Revolution, right? 5 billion of our taxpayers' money invested into that government overthrow. No, it was not grassroots movement that changed it. It wasn't. How is that working out? How many people died there? It's because Russia invaded. Why did they? Do we feel like a fucking Pontius Pilate? I wash my hands. I do something and they're like, hey, it's not my fault, you guys. You guys deal with it. Clean up. Yeah. Interesting times indeed we live in. Another thing that I notice is extreme well coordinated event going after people like Tucker Carlson, like Candace Owens. You see all these people, from Ben frickin' Shapiro to Rabbi Shmuley to Ted Cruz to Lindsey Graham to just these, Mark Levin, all these truly lovable characters, some of them with dual US and Israeli citizenship, claiming that Tucker Carlson is a foreign agent. When fucking Ben Shapiro and fucking Shmuley Say that someone is a foreign agent. I want you to really think about it. And then our president is he's standing up for Mark Levin, who's an absolute douchebag, absolute 100% Zionist stooge, has been. How do you know? Do a little bit of research. Look at the staff of U.S. Ambassador to Israel, esteemed Mike Huckabee. Take a look in the staff if there is someone in pretty high position who's a family member of Mark Levin. Take a look at it. Dig into it. Let me know what you find. Candace, she's questioning things, right? About Charlie Kirk, about his widow, Erica, and what happened there and who's involved and so on. They're going after her like there's no tomorrow. And it's interesting to watch, what kind of people, what kind of language, especially from that little schmuck Benji Shapiro coming out. He's straight up calling for censorship, 100% Stalin times type of censorship, 1934 all the way. Burn him at the fucking stake and send him to Gulag type of censorship. Senator Ted Cruz, the first Canadian-born Cuban who represents Israel's interest in the Senate from the state of Texas. Amazing. Absolutely freaking amazing. That little fag, Lindsey Graham. I mean, I know he's sad and depressed because his bud buddy John McCain has been gone for a while. Again, Lord have mercy for me saying all these things on great land, but, you know, I'll feel easier after I do this. God willing. You know, you listen to him and you're like, it's a maniac. It's an absolute maniac, schizophrenic, psychopath. People are going, well, Tucker Carlson was having contacts with someone from Iran. Lindsey Graham travels to Israel and makes policy statements about our involvement in the war against Iran before we are involved. He makes he's a fucking senator. That would be called treason. But it's Lindsey Graham. All right? And there will be people who will vote for them. You know, the other day I saw one of my friends posted, they go like, you know what? Interesting clarifying point would be compulsory mandatory draft of all American youth. Compulsory. You have to. Other than if you're missing a limb or half the brain, you're going into military. And if military gets involved, you're going to war. Watch how within 3-4 years the voting would change. And actually, I think I would predict that voting would change very interestingly. Nobody would vote for either of the two parties, and maybe, just maybe, and that wouldn't be a bad thing, over time we would actually see second, third, and maybe more legit political parties appear. Like most countries have. You know, those non-democratic countries like Russia, they have numerous political parties, more than 2, more than 3, more than 4. We have 2. We always did. Libertarian Party, one of my friends said a long time ago about libertarians, as far as U.S. libertarians as a political movement. He said something I thought it was funny, and forgive my language, especially my more libertarian leaning friends. He said, American libertarian can stand in a room full of pussy and still get face slapped by a big fat dick. And really, when you look at Libertarian Party, you go like, it's indecisive. It has no opinion. It depends. How do you expect to be a legit movement to where people go like, so what are your views? What are your solutions? It depends. There's principle of non-aggression, then there's principle of this, but, you can't do that. You have to have some kind of a platform. Again, with having balls, knowing that some people will disagree. Sorry, I'm going to have to change that thing that's scrolling there on the bottom. I didn't realize that it's from long, long time ago. Goodness gracious. There you go. Let me change that. So, yeah, watching a very well concerted campaign against Tucker and Candace is it's both entertaining and kind of concerning because they're really going very, very hard after them. Yeah, to some degree, Megyn Kelly, few other characters, but Tucker and Candace are like their target number one. I would probably be right there with them if I had 5 million followers, but that will never happen. I'm not as well spoken. I'm not as well informed. I'm not that good looking. And I don't have connections, and I wouldn't be talking about it every day. No. I have other things to do. But I hope their security knows what they're doing. So far, it seems like they do with the little bits of information and little clues that I get here and there. But yeah, interesting to watch. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna move on from the politics to few other things. And few other things is we just finished pretty intense 2+ weeks of training here at Fort Honey Badger. Something we refer to as March Madness. Number of classes. We started with martial art first aid kit with Bill Paravano. It was in-depth class, basically moving, adjusting, understanding how it works, how it increases functionality, longevity, health. Few bones below your ankles, few bones from your wrist towards your fingertip. And it was pretty profound. It was very interesting work. So we spent 2 days as the first event of March Madness. And then we had a couple of days off. We went straight into fear inoculum. Few people couldn't make it for one reason or another. I mentioned Turtle Castell. Max couldn't make it. There was another gentleman that couldn't make it. We still had 16 people in the class. Surprisingly, I believe 5 of the people that took fear inoculum have never trained with me before. Others were, they had trained with me before. Some of them, like Clem, has taken, this was his 4th fear inoculum out of 5 that I taught. And it was interesting. Louis and Jada did, I believe, with Jeremy together. They did a live feed on Students of Violence channel, which I would suggest you go and follow and sign up. On most of episodes of Students of Violence live streams, I'm present. On some of them, I'm not. But generally speaking, it's Louis, Josh, and myself, and sometimes we have a guest. Yesterday, we had Evan Dixon from Radio Made Easy as our guest. So obviously, we spoke about communications in his class. So anyway, we did the Fair Inoculum 5-day class. It was intense. It was very unique. I would say so far out of 5 that I taught, this was probably went deeper than the other ones. And I think on personal level, why it wasn't such a dramatic, thing that, let's say, we had happen at the Fear Inoculum 2023, we had more personal, deep things that happened to a number of people. Some of them even new people that it was their first class, first time training with me. Um, I'm not going to talk much publicly about it. We do have a lot of video material that we did during the Fear Inoculum and other classes. So here eventually, when things slow down a little bit in the next couple of days, I'll put together some short clips for public consumption, and then some others will go behind the paywall. So some of that will be made available to those who are interested. And after Fear Inoculum, we had the last as a standalone class, Dig, a shovel class. That was fun. I will not teach that material again in the standalone class. Some of it will be incorporated in some other projects that I'm not yet ready to reveal. But as a one-day class, this was the last time I taught a shovel class. So if you missed it, oh well. And after shovel class, we did a deep dive into some systemic things. It was a very interesting class, 2-day class. And we went into deeper than I thought we would go, but due to people that were participating in that class and their competence and their training level, I felt comfortable to kind of taking them few steps below the surface, so to speak. So it was very, very interesting, very productive, very class with a lot of reflections, a lot of eureka moments for those who were there, including myself. Although I was teaching, but watching certain things happening with students was very interesting. And then we did a 2-day radio made easy class, from zero to hero radio operator class. It was awesome. My brain was so fried. I had to rely on my son Nicholas for some of the stuff, but it was great class. Big class. We had 21 people in that class, and that was really the end of the March Madness. The only thing that we have coming up as far as this month here is, where did I put it? There you go. So this class on the scroller at the bottom, Martial Fusion, Combat Sports and Violence. It's March 28 and 29, Saturday, Sunday. As the name implies, martial fusion, combat sports and violence. We'll look into some things from the realm of combat sports, MMA, mixed martial arts, how it applies, what to pay attention to, mistakes not to make, how it differs from things that may happen not in the octagon or ring, things to be aware of. I think it's going to be interesting class. We still have spots in that class, so jump in. Let me see here. There you go. For some reason, the pictures are not showing up on my QR codes, but if you scan it, it will take you to the right place in my website, and you can register for that class there. So that's Martial Fusion, Combat Sports and Violence on March 28, 29. And I believe the discount price is no longer applicable, so I believe it's $450 now. This price was going until like January 31st or something. Anyway, if you click on QR code here, you will find it on the website. So there's that, and that's pretty much it for March. The other thing that we have coming up April 18, 19th is Fight Like a Girl. It's a very interesting class, although the name sounds like, oh, so it's for women. Yeah, a lot of things there will absolutely work for women, but not only. It's gender neutral class. There are quite a few fellas that took that class when I taught it in Tennessee. Well, it was very compressed, few-hour class, not even a full day. This is going to be a full 2 day class. Uh, Dudes, trust me, you can gain from it a lot because with stuff that we're going to be exploring and Fight Like a Girl, you can probably be a lot more competent fighter because for me to teach you how to strike well, how to do few other things that us dudes do, it will take more than 2 days. But the stuff that you can take from Fight Like a Girl, it's almost immediately applicable. So don't feel like this is class for a weaker gender. It's not. It is not. Uh, so that is that. The really interesting event we then have coming up is this animal right here, April 25th and 30th through 30th. So it's a 6 day event with 6 separate instructors. Instructors are Tim Morris from Tactical Response. If you don't know who Tim is, your life cannot be complete. Tim is going to be teaching first 2 days. First 2 days will be dedicated to shotgun. The second 2 day block is going to be dedicated to pistol, and then the third 2 day block to rifle. Now, each block will also have an evening session. So the first 2 days, that block will have evening session dedicated to medical. I believe it's going to be Jerry Nuss and Calvin Lim probably taking charge of that. Uh, so these two gentlemen are other two instructors coming in. So we have Tim Morris, we have Jerry Nuss, we have Calvin Lim. Then we have Jay the Nightmare Gibson coming in. And then Lewis from Elcar Concepts, he'll be teaching. And I will be kind of floating around all 6 days and post hour events and offering my 2 cents here and there. And I may or may not have something to do to teach in the darkness or whatnot. So this is going to be one very loaded, very adventurous, productive, and fun event because besides the skill level and knowledge base of the 6 instructors, you're talking about characters, from Tim to Jay to Jerry to Calvin and Lewis. Not so much myself. I'm not that much of a character, but sometimes I do say funny things here and there. So jump in on that class, guys. You can sign up. The price you see here, 1,500, is for full 6 days. It's the full package. Once you click on that QR code, you go to website. It has options and drop down menus. You can register for 2 days, for 4 days. Pick which blocks, and then after hour blocks, you can also add. So you have options. Don't miss it. Some people messaged me asking, "Hey man, when you're bringing this show to this location, to West Coast or East Coast or whatnot?" Guys, let me be blunt while trying to be very civilized and gentle about it. Things like that, they don't come to you. You go to them. You know, to to find a time slot where all 6 of us are available, willing to travel and hang out for 6 days plus travel and teach people. If you think that this is going to be like easy to pull off again in 2027, I would not. I would not. I repeat, I would not count on this happening again. I'm not saying it won't, but I would not put my hopes into it. God willing, if everything works out, if magic happens again and somebody takes the reins and pulls everything in and coerces people and threatens people and all that stuff, and all of us come together to do something like that again, if it happens, when it happens, it will happen. But by no means I would count on that. By no means. So if you want to train with Any particular instructor from that list? Again, that's Tim Morris, Jay Gibson, Jerry Nuss, Calvin Lim, Louis Carras, and myself. This would be the place, this would be the time. So that's April 25th through the 30th of 2026. So that's a little bit over a month away here at Fort Honey Badger in East Texas. And there's this animal, Fair Inoculum 2027. Right now, I'd have it at $1,500. The price will go up. There is a chance that before it goes up, it will be sold out. It has been sold out 4 out of 5 years. Last 2 years, it was oversold because some people asked me for additional spots. I did not say no because these were people that they wanted and they said they really needed that class. And then I have some lifetime students that even if the class is sold out, they have the spots. And most of them seem to like Fear Inoculum every year and they seem to be getting quite a bit out of it. So do expect significant amount of people in the class. For that reason, don't wait long. Uh, I have no reason to really push Fear Inoculum very hard. As I said, 4 out of 5 years it was sold out and oversold. So it's not like a hard sell for me. I'm just telling those of you who are considering it, don't sit on the fence long. Do not. Uh, some of the people that were in some classes recently expressed very serious interest in the class. I wouldn't be surprised that within the next week or two, there will be quite a few spots gone. So again, if you if you dare to know yourself, this is the class. This is the class. I only teach it once a year. I'm not going to change that. In 2027, there will be another class that will eclipse Fair Inoculum. It will be a 7-day class, but it will have prerequisite. And prerequisite to take that class will be attendance in Fair Inoculum. This is not about money. This is about the material that will be covered, the depth of it, the complexity of it. I need people to be ready to learn in that 7-day class things that they can only get at Fair Inoculum. They will need that as a base. Yeah, so as far as travels, you know, yeah, I went to Wisconsin last year. We had a little class there. I'm really, I'm really at this point. I'm going to be focusing 95% of my training to be done here at my home base. I'm not excluding possibilities to travel, but it will be very, very limited. If I'm going to travel, I'm going to travel somewhere for multiple classes. That way, my trip is worth it. And I can actually take family with me and do things. I will not just travel somewhere to do a day or 2-day class. It takes too much away from me, it takes too much time away from multiple other projects that I'm involved with and I will be working on. So likelihood of that is not very high. I'm just being honest. So that's that as far as classes. Let me get back now a little bit to what I observed during training in the classes that we were doing here during the March Madness. And that is how, with time, when people study seriously, how their ability to absorb certain material it changes very, very dramatically, and I would say drastically. So, watching some of the guys, they kind of follow the instructions, you know. Uh, we had little interesting discussions, and that again, this is, it's a fusion of a lot of things that happen. In was the first class when we started the madness. Bill is speak talking about neurology and how people are chronically in the sympathetic state of being anxious, scared, nervous, tense. And then when we went into fear inoculum, we explored some of those things where we were switching. There's a saying, mind, what a beautiful servant, what a terrible master. I want you to kind of sleep on the meaning of that phrase. What a terrible master, what a beautiful servant. How do you make your mind your servant? You go like, everything starts here, right? Well, not really. Not really. Mind is easily misled. Mind easily falls into patterns and stays in those patterns. And especially in our very, very much chronic anxiety, fear, stress. If you think that your mind functions optimally, if you think that thoughts that come from your mind are good ideas, good suggestions in many areas of life, it could be fighting, it could be relationship, it could be business. I have news for you. Calmness is a skill. Calmness truly is a skill. And it's not an easy skill to develop. But watching dudes in training, when they allow themselves a little bit less cognitive input, recognizing that their cognition is shaped and guided by a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. Watching their performance level, their ability to learn, the ability to perform things that they weren't able before is pretty freaking amazing. It's pretty freaking amazing. And then during the deep dive on 2 days that we were working on some Sistema stuff, as I said, I decided that I had a right audience to take guys a little bit deeper than usual. And then observing some of their work and some of the changes in their way of being, not only in their way of functioning. Like there was a pretty significant and palpable change of how they are. And from the way they changed the way they are, their function came from there. When you see people react to things and deal with things without any anxiety, it's very, very different, folks. Let me tell you, very different. And no, it's not a wet dream to remain calm in stressful, tense situations. It's not a wet dream. It's a skill. It's a skill that needs to be practiced, but it's not a purely cognitive skill, nor is it work driven by cognitive processes. Yes, cognition is absolutely involved. There is a logos in there. There's all that. Mind will be working. The question is what drives that work. It's a deep topic that I will be doing quite a bit of ranting, and some of the material will come out pretty soon in different formats. But it's definitely a very interesting deep dive into a deeper recesses of how and why we do things a certain way. And it's not that hard to see that it's not reliant per se on our techniques that we memorize or our style or chosen system or even weapon. Mind participates in our bodily activities. Again, let that sink in very, very slowly. It's not the other way around. Your mind participates in your physical activities, in what body does. And if what body does is done from the background of anxiety, fear, tension, your mind is being shaped by it. Your cognition, your very, very root, how your thoughts are being born and formed in your head, is shaped by it. It's a pretty scary step to take in that direction and recognize the differences under the tutelage of someone who can kind of give you few options how to work and create certain environment for you to be able to explore it. But it's one of those things that once you go there, you can't forget it. You cannot unsee it. You cannot forget the experience of how different, wholesome, healthy, meaningful it felt. And it really was that. It's not imaginary. It's not some kind of a fucking, smoke too much weed or ayahuasca and I feel high and I feel good and I see things. No, it's not that. Not at all. So I'm working on a few things to put this and try to frame all this in a very, very thankless format through language. It's hard. It's you have to experience it. You have to live that experience to get a hint of what it is. But to the best of my ability, I will try to frame it through language of what it is, what it means, how it works, why it works. So that's one of the little projects that are gonna kind of branch out into a few different areas of some of the things that I'm doing. If you guys have any questions, Bart Stewart's, I'll almost guarantee that we will be seeing our ham radio friends from Oklahoma border in upcoming classes. I mean, it's possible. Again, me and Evan, we talking about it. We'll see how maybe for March Madness 2027, maybe we'll do like a double take, do another zero to hero class, and then do the what he calls now tactical radio operator class. So that's that. All right, guys, I held you here for over hour and 40 minutes. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna go myself. I have quite a few things to get done. Tomorrow it's gonna be a long day, and then lots of things happening, lots of projects, lots of things to finish, and kind of send it off and be done with some projects, and then dive right into the new projects, and on and on and on. So that little spinning wheel continues. I appreciate you all being here. Comment after this is posted, share it if you feel that this may be helpful or of service to somebody you may know. And everything works well. Next Tuesday, I will do another live stream of Let Us Attend. We'll post it closer to that date. What is the status? This has been episode 33 of Let Us Attend from For the Honey Badger, Sunny Puzikas. May God bless.